This bent track should be quite easy to fix. I think it should just pull out. Yep. So that's that side out. So you can see it's bent there. I think what I'll try to do is go and straighten that with a hammer. So that ended up a pretty easy fix. So just try to put it back together. This rubber's really old, so it's quite stiff. Certainly, it's a big improvement. A lot better. So I've also got this spring replaced to work the hatch. What I did was I got some 0.3mm thick spring strip. It's something watchmaker or clockmakers use. You can get by that quite easily. So what I had to do is get rid of this rivet, grind it down, and basically drill it out. So I got some these tiny wee screws. They're number 2, a 1/4 inch. What that would do, I had a 3mm hole in this. So you can just screw that in. Basically try to make this exactly as like that as you can. So it seems to work pretty well. Another big problem with this whole mechanism is if these will get bent at all, or what I found is if these rivets here are loose, the whole mechanism can swivel. Let's see, I'll show you on this. So what happens, if that becomes loose, this swivels, and we can see that the bracket that holds the hatch in place just comes loose. There's a gap, so that's why you see these for sale and the hatches are missing. At the same time, when this comes loose, it just allows this door here to just slide right out. So that seems to be a big weakness in these toys. So if the hatch is out, or the door's out and the hatch is missing, good chance this has been wobbling around. And yeah, so you can, what I did here, just grind off the rivet heads, and what you can do is, what I did here, just 2.5, well, these ones, a 2mm hole I drilled down, and these are little self-tappers. Like I said, it's I think the number 2 1/4 inch, and just a little washer to spread the load. You might have to do is just sort of bend these slightly to get everything to work just perfect. The last thing to repair here is Captain Scarlet's chair. I've got a reproduction what do you call it, bracket here. It's a lot of reproduction parts. It's really not that good. You can see there aren't even any holes for the hinge on the chair to go through. And you notice I've got reproduction Captain Scarlet here as well. When you look at his face and his detail, he's not as good as the original, and the seat material as well isn't exactly the same colour. So anyway, the first thing what I'll do is go to try to get the hinge to get under the seat. That ended up quite a hard job really. First I drilled the holes, they weren't lined up very well and they were the wrong size. So what I had to do is I got a dowel, heated up the end, sort of made the holes larger, because what you got to do is get them so this swings freely. So if you don't, when it comes out, what happens, Captain Scarlet ends up pointing that way instead of his feet down on the ground. So this has to be extremely loose, and I ended up having to take a very small file and filing around the chair hinges and filing around the holes in the bracket. So this reproduction bracket is quite a flexible material, so it should really just slip in here quite easily, I'm hoping. Well, in fact, I went in there very easily, so fingers crossed. There's a little slot in here, that's where the top of the chair slides into, and actually this little part of the seat here that projects past his Captain Scarlet's feet here is what keeps the chair upright when it's in the vehicle. So failure. Look, this reproduction part is more junk. That's it in the hole. Definitely this time. See what happens. That worked, but you can see he's only just now got into the right position. And I could see he fell down into the vehicle there. And the seat's falling out again. So really, not too sure what to do about that. Maybe try another part. You're obviously best to buy one of these where all this fully works. See, he's not even. Yep. It's just a bit of a failure this. All I'll do is I'll try another one of these. So eventually, I've got this working. I've got a 3D printer, so I just printed a new hinge here. It's still, it's too tight, but you know, it just shows you how fussy these contraptions can be. So it works kind of now. So here's one I did earlier. The actual original spring was gone in this, so I just got a spring out of a ballpoint pen. It's not as powerful as the original, but you know, it's an easy source. So that works okay on this one. And this cell's a little bit problematic. what I noticed on the missiles, sometimes if they don't work, it's because there's wear here. So what you have to do is hammer these down. You can put a punch on them and knock down as long as it's well supported underneath, and that will force this down so it's close to there. So that's another quite common problem. But back to this one. It's now, well, almost fully functional. The seat sort of works. This all works.